What's up? This is kind of weird, but I felt compelled to do it. So this is my run for the week. I'm in Tiburon, I believe. Barefoot running, no shirt. Anyway, gotta make sure I remember where the car is. So I wanted to talk about legal name fraud, because that's what Yolanda was asking about. And it's always easier to talk about than text, so this is for her and everybody else. So the all caps name, that's what she's talking about. Your legal name that was given at birth without your consent. It's all caps. And that is what all of the records are attached to, that legal fiction, as it's called. And it is admittedly a fiction, a legal fiction, just like business names are legal fictions. So the idea is that something needs to be there as an identity, or your id entity, to attach all of the records to. And as spirit, there's nothing there to attach the records to. As far as my advice regarding that, personally, I just live with it. I don't really care too much whether there are things attached to my legal fiction name or not, because I already know what I am or who I am. And that the legal fiction thing is kind of just a play toy to make the game possible. It just adds form and composition to the game. This guy might be concerned about a half-naked dude running around his neighborhood. Anyway. Maybe he'll come talk to me. Legal fiction. Yeah. I think I'll cut the run short at that point. Step on lots of rocks and things. So yeah, bear with me a second here. Gonna re-garment myself while the neighbor suspiciously backs into his driveway. I always welcome these kind of things, like for someone to ask me, what's going on, or why are you half naked running through my very cozy private neighborhood. But he wanted to do the slink into the corner type thing, so that's what he does, and it's fine by me. Anyway, legal name fraud. It's just another one of those things that gets snuck in through the back door, essentially, and it's without your consent, because when you're born, you're not there, so to speak, to agree to it. But the point being that once you are there to agree to it, which is now, basically, or whenever you can realize that it's kind of a fraudulent thing, and it doesn't really have anything to do with what you actually are, who you actually are, then at that point, you're free to remove yourself from it, or remove it from you, or say, I no longer identify with this legal fiction that was created without my consent at my birth. And according to my understanding, if you do that, then you're also foregoing all of the benefits that government gives you, which are really not very much beneficial at all, but it's just more word nonsense. But the benefits that they give you, such as the the luxury of paying taxes, healthcare if healthcare is offered for free in your country, and the military protection. So those are like the main three things that you get as a citizen or a child of the state. And whoever, the ones that put these things in place, they are very well aware that we are not that legal fiction. They're aware that we're spirit, having a little playtime in the physical bodies, but that's part of the game. That's part of the descent, DESCENT, not DISSENT. The descent into the physical just involves that, and that's just another level or layer that you can wake up to. And it's up to you if you want to invest time and effort into visibly extracting yourself. If you do that, such as Santos Bonacci, if you visibly extract yourself from it, you will get out from it. You will also deal with blowback, or you'll deal with resistance from the system, because the system doesn't want everybody withdrawing from it, because then the system collapses, and that's not a system likes to stay alive. So, and all this sovereign man, this man of the land, all this stuff, maritime law, that's also in effect as well, and it's also just another aspect of the backwards nature of the realm. Maritime law is what we're all under. We're not under UCC or Universal Common Code, I think it is. We're not under common law. We're supposed to be under common law, but we're fraudulently under maritime law, and that's what all of the court systems, that's how they deal with the people that come through, is they deal with them as lost at sea individuals, and they only deal with them as the fictitious entity, as the record. They don't ever deal with the spirit, the being, inhabiting the body. Because as the being, you can do literally whatever you want, and none of those laws touch you. Doesn't matter. You can even play with the maritime stuff and the sovereign individual stuff, and you can mix that in with the straw man, As the being, as the living entity, there's a living awareness, you can do whatever you want. You can play the game literally however you want. There's nobody stopping you. There's nobody stopping you from altering this or looking at this. It's perspective anyway, so who's going to say, no, that's not correct? No, the whole thing is perspective, so you can do anything. There are kind of like wiser ways to do things and less wise ways to do things, stuff that will get you sort of more entangled here in the system than others, some things more than others, but as far as exactly how you go about doing things here, that's entirely up to you and your discretion as to who you're listening to here in the realm. It's completely up to you. If you do decide to go the route of foregoing government benefits, then, well, it's not going to be easy. None of it's easy. You make any change here, and it's generally, since it's such a degraded realm, you make any change and there's all kinds of pain and suffering that goes along with it, and it doesn't even necessarily accomplish what you wanted it to. So it's up to you, though. You can drop the legal name and you can give yourself a new name. That's what these guru guys are doing. When Tom whoever becomes Adyashanti, I know that's not his original name, I forgot what his name was, but Adyashanti is a new entity. It's not anything related to the old one. So all that old entity's garbage and junk that's got collected and past karmic stuff, whatever, soul stuff, the Akashic records, which is like the molecular retainment of the physical memory path of the body mind as it meanders through the realm, like that stuff. You can literally like get rid of that stuff and take on literally and mentally and theoretically in all levels. You can take on a new being entity, and your old one is gone, and the court record no longer sees you as the entity, the being that's taking responsibility for that dead, fictitious entity that was created at birth, that legal name, the all caps name. And so that's another reason why people who are into this, playing around with it, if they get into the court, they'll, the judge says, "What's your name?" And they'll say, "I'm Bob." Some people call me Billy Boy. They'll give all this stuff about who they are, and the court just wants that legal name that has all the attached stuff to it. Because if they just have Billy Boy Bob or I am human, anything like that, you say any of those things, well, then the judge is forced to speak to you on the level that you are giving yourself as. And if you give yourself as I am human, I'm simply alive, residing here in this body, I'm spirit, say any of those things, and the judge has to address you as what you say you are. That's part of what goes on here. But there's also, once you do that, then you're recognized by that judge and whoever else he talks to, and everyone else in the system that represents the control faction, and it will just be known what you've declared yourself to be, and you will have to face repercussions in some form. It doesn't mean that someone's going to send you to jail, or it doesn't mean they're going to come take all your possessions away. Not that none of that could happen, but that's not just a guarantee. It's more important to be cogent of the fact that if you introduce a change here in the Matrix, it's going to have effects one way or the other. You don't. That's what people are meaning when they say you don't get anything for free. There's no free lunch here, because stuff that you're doing has effect. You're attached to everything. You're attached to all the other people, all the other beings. So you do something over here, then something else moves over there. Well, you're responsible for your movements. So that's my thoughts on the legal name fiction, Yolanda. I hope that helped clear it up for you a little bit, and anybody else who's interested in that. Feel free to ask any questions. I'll give you the best information that I have, or my interpretation of it. And thanks for giving me. You essentially gave me the opportunity to run, Yolanda, because I've been being a lazy bastard, sitting on my ass and driving all the time. So thank you for that. And yeah, gotta head back to San Fran. So yeah, any questions, any topics you'd like me to talk about, I'll put out the same offer that Yolanda did, which is, if you'd like me to talk about a specific thing, just mention it in the comments and I'll get to it, do some research, or just tell you what I know about it as is. Feel welcome to ask about anything. And yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.